Welcome to Daytime Racing 2. This video is going to feature the odd characteristics of the Maserati MC12. As you notice here, it's only available in the one color. Looks like a white, but it's actually a gray, which doesn't do the car any good when you're out on the track to make it stand out at all. And if you're up against more Maseratis and competitors, they've all got the same paint scheme too. From the back here, it doesn't look like it's all that exciting either. You might see some light reflecting off a Maserati just above the diffuser there, spelled out. There's also the Maserati symbol on the grille here. And if you look at the side of the car, you might notice something stands out besides the air flowing through the bodywork of the car, the channels there. If you look at the wheels and tires, you'll notice the tires are very low profile. However, the odd part about this car is not so much its handling, it's the race view. When you're racing this car, you're somewhere back here. This car is very close to your camera. Why is that? It's not because it's wider than any other car. There's another car in the game that's 10% wider. It's because this car is approximately 2 feet or 60 centimeters longer than any other car in the game, so it ends up being closer to your chase camera, which does wonders for making an optical illusion of trying to see your way around the camera. And the widest part of the car is actually the wing at the back of the car, which does not help. So my video here, besides showing that this car is weird shaped, odd, not the best of colors for standing out on the track, is to show perhaps why you may not want to get this car, at least right away, until you fully build out your collection of cars in the game. Here's how I've got the car upgraded. As you can see, I do not have everything maxed out. With regard to other A-class cars, the only thing that seems to be deficient on this car is the braking. It is not very good by comparison to other A-class cars or many other cars in the game. As for the driving characteristics, I find you do have to be very gentle with this car going through your turns, no quick steering motions, otherwise you would really upset the car, and you can set it into fishtail mode. I'm going to be doing 2 races with this car where I will not be talking over that part of this video, and I will put an index down in the description below how to get to those races quickly. We're about to head to one of them very shortly. We're going to be doing an open class here where any A-class car can compete. It's going to be a single lap race. We're going to go to Mount Rainier. And if you're familiar with this game, Mount Rainier is a very twisty track, somewhat challenging, a bit narrow, and it's at night. I will be driving both races that I'll be demonstrating without any of the assists. So in Mount Rainier, in a single lap, I'm going to try to get from well back in the pack to the front. So do note how this car does stick way back into your camera view when I get to the race. There is some way of adjusting that. There are 4 different view options when you're racing. However, I always leave it in the close chase view. So I'm going to go quiet and start the race. So as you can see, it is possible to drive this car fairly easily without any of the assists. Maybe not fairly easily for those who aren't completely familiar with the tracks out there. It does help to know exactly where all the turns are going to be and which ones you need to slow down for, and the best way to get around traffic. The other advantage of not using the assist is you doesn't pull your car over to the preferred line, where I find the bought cars tend to be, and you end up crashing into the back of them. And did you notice how the camera seemed to be fairly close to the car? It does help to compare this car to some other car on the track for that. It's not quite as noticeable just by driving this car in itself. So let's take a look at my lap time here. We should be somewhere around just over a minute. Some with really good cars, you can be just under a minute on this track. But we're nowhere in the ballpark with an A-class car, which may be another reason this car would not be on your top list to get of cars. Let's go take this to a daylight track. We'll be doing 2 laps where we'll be competing against, just a sec here, any of those 3 types of cars there on the left. More Maseratis, Vipers, and Rolfs. Rolfs can be rather tricky because they've got substantially more horsepower, and they're all-wheel drive, unlike the Maserati, which is a rear-wheel drive. So I'll select my car here, and we're going to be going to Heimstrecke, which would be a 2-lap race. And once again, when I hit the start button, I will no longer be talking over the video. Well, it looks like one of the rolls finished up front, and I even got passed by another Maserati at the end there. Bet you my lap time's nowhere near where it should be for an A-class car, something like 1 minute 33 seconds for my best lap or somewhere thereabouts. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'd say that's slow. Yes, the Maserati is not the fastest car on the track, and you did just get a chance to see it in daylight. All the details there are to see on the Maserati bodywork from chase view. Now, I'd like to do one more little demonstration. We're going to hit the racetrack. This is not going to be a full race. I will be talking over this portion of the video as well. I'm looking for Laguna Seca. When we get there, I'm going to start the race, and I'm going to pan through, go through all the camera views, see what you think when we get there. How about we wait till we get up past this corner, see if we get past some of the traffic here. And the camera is up in the top right corner. If I hit that button, we'll get the next camera view. If you go to this view, you can see the Maserati would not look substantially different than any other car if you were to race from this view. There are two other views. The front bumper, which you're definitely not going to notice the Maserati does look weird when you're in chase view. And if I hit it again, the fourth and final option inside the cockpit, where you get to see the Maserati symbol on the steering wheel as well. And the sound seems a little quieter as we're inside of the vehicle. So, I hope that helps you out if you've been thinking about the Maserati, or if you've actually got a Maserati. It is possible to drive it, and why it might look substantially different than any other car on the track. It's for the most part just an optical illusion of the way the game handles the length of the car and the fact that the car is extremely wide at the back end of the car, although it is somewhat low there as well. Hey, that's it for my video. I hope it helps you out.